What is homeostasis? Homeostasis is the condition of equilibrium, that is balance, between the body's internal and external environment due to the constant interaction of the body's many regulatory processes. The external environment is the surrounding environment in which an organism lives, whereas the internal environment is the fluid that surrounds the cells and through which they make life-sustaining exchanges. The importance of homeostasis. Homeostasis is a dynamic process. In response to changing conditions, the body's equilibrium can shift among points in a narrow range that is compatible with maintaining life. The examples of homeostasis include maintenance of body temperature and maintenance of blood glucose level. The cells in a multicellular organism, they cannot live and function without contributions from the other body cells. Each structure from the cellular level to the system level contribute in some way to keep the internal environment of the body within normal limits. So, homeostasis is necessary for body function and life. The various processes which serve to restore the normal state once it has been disturbed are known as homeostatic mechanisms. An important aspect of homeostasis is maintaining the volume and composition of body fluids. Body fluids are dilute and watery solutions containing dissolved chemicals that are found inside the cells as well as surrounding them. These body fluids make 60% of human body. The fluid present within cells is known as intracellular fluid, which is making up 40% of total body fluids. The fluid outside the body cells is known as extracellular fluid. It makes 20% of total body fluids. The extracellular fluid that fill the narrow spaces between cells of tissues is known as interstitial fluid. The extracellular fluid within blood vessels is termed as blood plasma. ECF within lymphatic vessels is called lymph. Extracellular fluid in and around the brain and spinal cord is known as cerebrospinal fluid. In joints, this ECF is referred to as synovial fluid. The extracellular fluid of the eyes is called aqueous humor and vitreous body. What makes the internal environment of human body? Extracellular fluid is the internal environment of human body. All the cells in the body live in the same environment, that is the ECF. Body cells can live and function only when the ECF is compatible with their survival. So the chemical composition and physical state of this internal environment, it must be maintained within narrow limits. Body cells take in essential nutrients from their watery surroundings and eliminate waste into the same surroundings. Here I would like to give some examples. The digestive system transfers the nutrients required by all body cells from the external environment into the plasma. Similarly, the respiratory system transfers oxygen from the external environment into the plasma. And this plasma is ECF. And this is how ECF is creating the internal environment of the body. Other aspects of the internal environment that are important for maintaining life, they include temperature, and composition of cell. All these aspects, they must also be kept relatively constant. It means the internal environment of the body, it must be kept stable, but this doesn't mean that the composition, temperature, and other characteristics of the internal environment, they are absolutely unchanging. It means all these characteristics, they are changing, but within narrow limits. Many factors of the internal environment of the human body must be homeostatically maintained. These factors include concentration of nutrients. Cells need a constant supply of nutrient molecules for the production of energy. This energy in turn is needed to support life-sustaining and specialized cell activities. Next is concentration of oxygen and carbon dioxide. Cells need oxygen to carry out energy-yielding chemical reactions. The carbon dioxide produced during these reactions, it must be removed so that acid-forming carbon dioxide does not increase the acidity of the internal environment of human body. Next is concentration of waste products. The end products of some chemical reactions have a toxic effect on body cells if these waste products are allowed to accumulate. So it is necessary for the body to remove these waste products in order to maintain its internal environment. Next factor is pH. Changes in the pH, that is relative amount of acid of the extracellular fluid, adversely affect nerve cell function and damage the enzymatic activity of all cells. Next is concentration of salt, water and electrolytes. Because the relative concentrations of salt, that is NaCl, and water in the extracellular fluid influence how much water enters or leaves the cells, so these concentrations are carefully regulated to maintain the proper volume of the cells. This is because cells do not function normally when they are swollen or shrunken. Next is volume and pressure. The circulating component of the internal environment, that is the plasma, it must be maintained at adequate volume and blood pressure to ensure body-wide distribution of this important link between the external environment of the body and the cells. The last factor is temperature. Body cells function best within a narrow range of temperature. If the cells are too cold, their functions slow down too much, and if they get too hot, their structural and enzymatic proteins are impaired or destroyed. So the temperature of the cells, it must be maintained within narrow limits.